Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Hazel Adams. Thank you for joining me today. Today I want to talk with you for a few minutes about the comet 3I Atlas that of course we've all heard so much about in the news and on YouTube. And specifically I want to talk about what its true energetic impact is within our collective and individual consciousness, our psyches, in how we create our reality. We'll talk at first a little bit about some of the ideas surrounding what it is and what it's doing. But again, regardless of what we believe it is definitely having an effect on our consciousness and our shift into the higher consciousness as a species. So we'll talk about that. Before I go on, please remember to click like and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm that this is a good channel to watch. And also stay until the end because I have a special guided meditation event scheduled for this Friday, Halloween, October 31st, and I want to extend an invitation to you for that. So let's talk about 3I Atlas. What we know, what's agreed upon, is that it's an interstellar visit. It's not from our solar system or even our galaxy. It's from the cosmos. And it is said to be, by scientists and non-scientists, from so far away and so old that it's just beyond our comprehension, really. And it is unusually, evidently for comets, traveling on a trajectory right through our solar system, sometimes, according to some people, making little maneuvers and changes that would appear to be intelligently controlled. And it does have some characteristics that are not typical comet characteristics. For instance, the actual speed at which it's traveling and the trajectory have not been seen before in comets. It became active as far as outgassing a tail when it was still way out past Jupiter, which is a much further distance than comets will usually start to form a tail. Also, it has formed an anti-tail, meaning the tail has turned, instead of blowing away from the sun, it's toward the sun. I am not an expert on comets and their tails, but I looked it up and there are evidently two kinds of tails. One is more of an optical illusion. The tail isn't really facing away toward the sun, but it kind of looks like it is because of your perspective. According to the scientists, this is not that kind of tail. It's a real anti-tail. It is also turned green. Now, I've also seen reports on YouTube about it fluctuating between red and blue. I honestly don't know which is true. Another thing that's known about it is that its tail, that off-gassing, is extremely high in carbon dioxide. Comets never have that level of carbon dioxide, evidently. So we've mentioned some things that we know scientifically from observation, and there are many differing theories and opinions about what it is and what it's really doing here. Some come from the scientific community, or at least the theories and speculations come from the scientific community. Other theories and ideas come from psychics and channelers, and some of them very well respected, as in they've consistently given us information and insights that have been very helpful and very accurate to our experience. So they have some credibility with what they bring through. But even amongst those, there are differing renditions of what this is. Some channelers have reported that it's an energetic entity. Others have reported that it's a cluster of rock and ice, but that it is conscious. So it is an energetic entity, but held within the rock and ice crystals. Others have channeled that it's an actual ship from far out in the cosmos with evolved beings aboard. At least one other has channeled that, yes, it is a ship with evolved beings aboard, but the ship itself is also an evolved consciousness. So the ship itself is consciousness. There are many differing renditions of what this really is in the physical and what it's here to do. And that's what I want to talk with you about today. Energetically, for us individually and as a collective, what is this and what is it reflecting and what is it doing? What impacts is it having? First, I want to share this, if you haven't already heard it before. The symbol is the thing. When something is a symbol of something, it isn't just an intellectual symbol of it, it is the thing. A good example is water. Water doesn't just symbolize flow and lack of boundary. It expresses flow and lack of boundary. It is flow and lack of boundary. It is that energetic truth manifest in physical form. Another thing I want to share or remind you of is when something happens out here, it is a reflection of our consciousness in here. Things do not just happen out there for no reason. They are exactly synchronistic reflections of where we are in consciousness. As my teacher Seth said, consciousness always first. Physical manifestation follows that, not vice versa. Although we do react then to what we see in the physical. An example might be someone who's had persistent tonsillitis and sore throats their whole life, and laryngitis, all kinds of throat problems. Well, laryngitis and sore throats and throat problems have to do with not speaking your truth to yourself or to others. It has to do with sort of pent up thoughts and emotions and ideas that you need to share that you're not allowed to share. And there can be anger there, hence the sore throats, the irritation. Laryngitis, you're stifling off your ability to speak your truth to the world and possibly to yourself. Well, that person, if they reach a place in their consciousness where they're ready to evolve and recognize that, hey, my truth matters, it's just as valid and valuable as anyone else's, and I have a right to speak my truth to myself and others, they may, if they've been having throat problems and tonsillitis their whole life, they may suddenly go to the doctor or visit a doctor that says, hey, let's take out those tonsils. And so the outward expression of taking out the tonsils is symbolizing getting rid of the problem that was stopping us from speaking our truth to ourselves and to the world, if that makes sense. So what happens out there always is a reflection of the consciousness shifts going on in here. All events, everything that happens to you, everything that happens to us as a collective, they're all expressions of consciousness shifts. If we make a physical move to another location, that isn't just a physical move. That's reflective of a shift in our consciousness. We're different. We're ready to be in a different energetic environment. And so we change our physical environment as well. So I wanted to lay that groundwork for what I'm about to say. So what do we experience out there regarding 3i Atlas? Let's look at it. We're seeing a very unexpected, unusual visitor from so far away in the cosmos that we can't even conceive of how far away it came from. Doesn't that just express and symbolize new information, new possibilities that are so different to what we've been used to that we kind of can't even conceive it? We just see it coming through and it sort of looks like things we've seen before, but it doesn't. It's very different and we know it. It is so ancient and old that we also can't conceive of that. Well, mightn't that express just such core foundational soul's truth, cosmic consciousness truth? Doesn't that express and symbolize energy and information that is true so far into our cosmic consciousness that it's really at the core where we almost can't conceive of it. But there it is, coming up where we can see it and be more consciously and directly aware of it and assimilate it into our reality. The very fact that it is this unexpected and unusual visitor from so far away and that is so old, so sort of foreign to us in a way, right there opens up our psyche. Whether you believe it's an extraterrestrial ship or a very unusual clump of rock and ice behaving in a very unusual way, it's still opening up the possibility of what we thought was true. We thought we knew how everything worked and how comets look and what they do. And here's something sort of breaking that paradigm, even for the scientists. What we thought we knew isn't the all of it. And for us as non-scientists on the planet, and those of us who are very intuitive and very connected to our higher selves, we're completely aware that this is both an expression and a symbol of the opportunity to take in new energy and information to help our consciousness change. And as it passes through our solar system, it informs and activates and energizes the archetypal energy of each planet that it comes close to. For instance, Jupiter is expansion. Saturn is structure. Mars, self-identity, being, expressing the being of the self. tomorrow, October 29th, 3i Atlas reaches its perihelion, its closest proximity to our solar system sun, our physical sun, which is the capacitor that feeds energy and information to this whole Earth solar system construct. So it's activating, energizing, and forming the capacitor, the energetic capacitor that feeds all of us in and around this physical Earth. In December, 3i Atlas will pass its closest to our planet Earth. So that will be a very interesting time. But again, regardless of what you believe about astrology and energy, the fact of the matter is, psychologically, there is this unexpected, unusual visitor flying through at an unusual pace on an unusual trajectory through our solar system, coming close to our planets, doing some unusual things. It just opens up the individual and the collective psyche to, these are unusual times. Things aren't exactly what we thought they were, which automatically opens us up to new ways for things to be. It's an automatically opened window of opportunity for shift. One of the collective consciousnesses that are channeled through Daniel Scranton, I think it might have been Thymus, pointed out so accurately that it's also preparing us. They said, we're going to be seeing more activity in our skies. The extraterrestrial presence, that we are not alone, is becoming more and more apparent to the masses. And we're going to be seeing lots more activity in the skies. And this is sort of pre-preparing us for the idea of maybe ships in the sky. And I had said at the time that that's part of what all the drone activity was over New Jersey. That's part of what it was doing. It was preparing us to start being used to unusual things becoming usual in our skies. And so 3i Atlas is also serving that purpose, getting us used to unusual, unexpected visitors coming through our skies. Interestingly, the very name 3i Atlas has synchronistic significance, but it was named by scientists. It's named 3i Atlas because this is the third interstellar comet visitor that no one can quite explain, shooting through our solar system. The second one was Oumuamua. Can't remember the name of the first one. But in recent years, this is the third. So it's 3. I is interstellar. So it's the third interstellar. And Atlas is actually an acronym for, I believe, something like Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. So it was a completely scientifically given name. 3i, third eye, right? So this is no coincidence. It's extremely synchronistic. We're getting ready for a huge shift. Regardless of what you believe it is, 3i Atlas is definitely reflective of a consciousness shift. It is a very significant synchronous expression of a shift and opening in our collective consciousness, and its very presence definitely has an impact on the consciousness, collective and individual, of everything and everyone on the planet. So I want to invite you all to join me for a very special 1-hour guided meditation event that I'll be hosting this Friday, October 31st, Halloween, at noon Eastern Time via Zoom. And in it, I'll be talking with you all a little bit about an idea that I had read first in Seth years ago, which is when we truly understand and take in an idea, an energy, a creative energy dynamic, we don't just understand it, we source it. We literally start sourcing the things that we understand directly. Again, direct understanding versus head understanding. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we will do a guided meditation in which we will source unconditional love and support. Everyone and anyone who is suffering tragedy, who is in fear, who is suffering in an illness, we're going to be directly sourcing unconditional love and support for them. And you will be amazed at how it feels when we do that and the difference that it can make to the people that are experiencing life on the planet. Attendance is free, or you can make a donation if you wish. I do need you to register for it so I can send you the link to join the Zoom meeting. So I'll leave a link below in the description so that you can register to attend. I hope to see you there. Blessings.